Ladies and gentlemen, friends who have ever stared at a blank screen, a messy room, an unread book, or an unanswered email and felt that familiar heaviness in your chest. This speech is for you. I want you to imagine something with me. Picture the version of yourself you dream about when no one is watching. The one who wakes up early, calm and focused. The one whose inbox is under control, whose body feels strong, whose side project is no longer gathering digital dust. That person is not a fantasy. That person is not waiting for a new year, a new Monday, or a bolt of motivation from the sky. That person is waiting 5 minutes away from the version of you sitting here right now. 5 minutes, 300 seconds. That is all that stands between who you are and who you keep promising yourself you will become. We have all heard the big dramatic advice: crush your goals, wake up at 4 a.m., build an entirely new personality in 75 days. And those things sound amazing until day 3, when the alarm goes off and the bed feels like it was designed by NASA to keep you pinned to the mattress forever. The reason most of us stay stuck is not because we lack ambition. We stay stuck because the gap between where we are and where we want to be feels like the Grand Canyon. And no one has ever jumped the Grand Canyon on the first try. But here is the secret the productivity gurus won't put on a flashy thumbnail. You don't have to jump the canyon. You only have to take one step onto the bridge. And that first step only needs to take 5 minutes. I call it the 5-minute rule, and it is the simplest, most unbreakable habit I have ever found. The rule is this: when you feel resistance toward a task you know you should do, commit to working on it for exactly 5 minutes. No more, no less. That's it. After 5 minutes, you are free to quit with zero guilt. But here's what actually happens 95% of the time. Once you start, you keep going. The mountain shrinks into a hill. The impossible becomes inevitable. Let me tell you why this works. Because understanding the why is what turns a trick into a transformation. Procrastination is not laziness. Procrastination is an emotional regulation problem. Your brain looks at the task and predicts pain, boredom, frustration, or fear of failure. So it offers you a short-term escape. Scroll, snack, research, nap, anything but start. The longer you delay, the bigger and scarier the task becomes in your mind. It grows fangs. It starts wearing a hockey mask. By the time you finally sit down to do it, you're exhausted from the mental horror movie you've been starring in all day. The 5-minute rule hacks that system. 5 minutes is too small to scare your brain. 5 minutes is shorter than most songs on your playlist. Your brain thinks, I can survive 5 minutes of anything. And because the perceived pain is tiny, resistance collapses. You start, and the moment you start, Newton's first law of motion takes over. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. The hardest part of any task is the beginning, because beginnings are where perfectionism, fear, and inertia all gang up on you. 5 minutes is the crowbar that pries that gang apart. I want you to try a quick experiment with me right now. Wherever you are, I want you to pick one thing you've been avoiding. Maybe it's answering an email, folding laundry, starting a workout, writing the first sentence of that report. Got it in your mind? Good. Now set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm serious. Actually do it. Pull out your phone, open the timer, set it for 5:00. I'll wait. Timer set? Excellent. When that timer starts, you're going to do the tiniest possible version of the task. If it's writing, you will open the document and write one terrible sentence. If it's exercise, you will put on your shoes and stand up. If it's cleaning, you will pick up 3 things and put them where they belong. That's all. No heroic effort required. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. If you're reading this later and didn't actually set the timer, you just procrastinated on a 5-minute task designed to end procrastination. That's how sneaky this beast is. Go set the timer now. I believe in you. How did it feel? Most of you kept going past 5 minutes, didn't you? Some of you are still doing the task right now while pretending to listen to the rest of this speech. That's the magic. Starting is the victory. Everything else is momentum. Let me share a few real stories so you know this isn't theory. Sarah was a 34-year-old marketing manager who wanted to write a novel. For 3 years, every January she bought a new journal, wrote chapter 1 at the top of a blank page, and then nothing. The dream haunted her. One day she heard about the 5-minute rule. She promised herself she would write for 5 minutes every morning before checking her phone. Day 1, 5 minutes. Day 2, 12 minutes. Within a week, she was writing for an hour before work. 18 months later, she held her published book in her hands and cried in the middle of Barnes & Noble. All because she stopped waiting for inspiration and started bargaining with her brain for 5 minutes. Then there's Marcus, a college sophomore drowning in unread textbook chapters. He started the rule for studying, just 5 pages or 5 minutes, whichever came first. His grades went from C's to A's in 1 semester, not because he suddenly loved organic chemistry, but because he removed the emotional terror of, I have to study for 4 hours tonight. 5 minutes was survivable. 4 hours was a death sentence. Even I have used this rule to build this very speech. 2 weeks ago, I sat in front of a blank page thinking, 2,000 motivational words? I'm not Tony Robbins. I can't do this. So I set a timer for 5 minutes and wrote the worst opening paragraph in history. But I started, and here we are. The 5-minute rule works for everything. Want to get in shape? Tell yourself you only have to work out for 5 minutes. You'll almost always do more once the blood is moving. Want to learn a language? 5 minutes on Duolingo. You'll be surprised how often you finish the whole lesson. Want to fix your finances? Open the budgeting app for 5 minutes. Suddenly, you're categorizing last month's expenses. Want to repair a relationship? Write the first line of the text you've been avoiding. Hey, I've been thinking about you. The rest flows. The beauty is that even on the rare days when you really do stop at 5 minutes, you still win. 5 minutes of progress is infinitely better than 0 minutes of perfectionist paralysis. 5 minutes compounds. 5 minutes today, tomorrow, the day after that, and suddenly you've written half a book, lost 10 pounds, or cleaned the entire house 1 corner at a time. Now, some of you are thinking, okay, but what about the days I don't feel like it at all? Perfect. Those are the most important days. Motivation is unreliable, like a friend who only shows up when the weather is nice. Discipline is the friend. The 5-minute rule is how you build discipline without feeling like you're punishing yourself. Here's the deeper truth. Every time you honor a 5-minute commitment, you cast a vote for the type of person you want to become. You tell your brain, I am someone who keeps promises to myself. And the more votes you cast, the more your identity shifts. You stop being a procrastinator and start being someone who gets things done. Identity change is the most powerful change there is. Let me paint one final picture. Imagine it's December 1st, 1 year from today. You're sitting in the same spot, reflecting on the last 365 days. In one version of the story, you kept waiting for the perfect moment, the big burst of energy, the magical day when procrastination finally died, and nothing changed. Same dreams, same regrets, same untouched goals. In the other version of the story, you started the 5-minute rule today. You did 5 minutes on that thing you've been avoiding. Then, tomorrow you did another 5. Some days only 5. Most days, much more. And over the year, those 5 minutes turned into finished projects, stronger relationships, better health, real progress. You became undeniable proof that small, consistent action beats talent, timing, and motivation every single time. Which version of December 1st may you have? February 9th, 2026. Do you want to live? The choice is happening right now. So here is my challenge to you, my promise, my plea. Starting today, every time you feel the familiar tug of procrastination, I want you to whisper to yourself, just 5 minutes. Set the timer. Take the tiniest step. Let momentum do the rest. You don't need more willpower. You need a smaller gate to walk through. 5 minutes is that gate. The life you want is not years away. It is not hidden behind a mountain of effort. It is waiting on the other side of one 5-minute decision, made again and again. You have wasted enough days waiting to feel ready. You are ready right now. The timer is in your hand. 3, 2, 1, go. And when you look back a year from now, you will not remember the days you felt tired or uninspired. You will remember the day you decided 5 minutes was enough to change everything. Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a timer to set. I'll see you on the other side of action.
Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe my channel and share with friends.